Good morning. Today is Psalm 96, read from the NIV. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, praise his name. Proclaim his salvation day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous deeds among all peoples. For great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. He is to be feared above all gods, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and glory are in his sanctuary. And that is Psalm 96, 1 through 6. Praise be to God.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to keep that psalm in mind as we go into our message for today. And our topic for today is the remix. The remix. In 1785, German poet, playwright, and historian, his name was Johann Christoph Friedrich von Schiller. He wrote a poem called Ode an die Freude, which actually means Ode to the Joy. The poem addressed the unity of all mankind. The English translation of the beginning of the poem is, "O friends, no more of these sounds. Let us sing a more cheerful song, more songs full of joy." And then Ludwig van Beethoven took Schiller's poem a little further in 1824, when he used it to try something new. This was the first time a composer included the human voice in a symphony, when he included Ode to Joy in his famous Ninth Symphony. Then in 1907, Henry van Dyck wrote Hymn of Joy, which over the years came to be known as Joyful, Joyful, Lord, we adore thee. He set the words to the melody of Beethoven's Ode to Joy. And then the final remix occurred in 1993, when the song Joyful, Joyful was presented as the finale to the movie Six Sister Act 2. Lauryn Hill and the rest of the cast sang a very contemporary hip-hop mix of Henry van Dyck's hymn. But the essence of Friedrich von Schiller and Henry van Dyck's words still remains. That is, we need more songs of joy. And here we are at the beginning of a new year, after we all went through 2021. It's time for us to have a remix. We need something new. We need to end the sad songs of 2020 and start 2021 with a song of joy. We can look at our text today for some guidance on how to start our remix of a new life in 2021. The text for today comes out of Psalm 96, and it is a psalm of praise. Those psalms present an invitation for us to praise, followed by reasons for praise. Psalm 96 itself may have been sung in the temple upon the occasion of the enthronement of God at an annual New Year's celebration. God's rule was proclaimed on a regular basis, but especially on this New Year's celebration. The new song was also sung in response to a historical event, like the return of the exiles from captivity in Babylon. The prophet Isaiah also invites the people of Israel to sing a new song in response to the new thing that God was doing by returning them to their land. Both Isaiah's words and Psalm 96 present God's purpose as justice for the earth and for its people. It reminded the hearers that God was still present, concerned, and powerful. Whereas the people had lost their joyful song in the face of life's pressures, on an annual basis, they were recharged as they remembered that they were citizens of the realm of God. That special time of celebration enabled the remix, a new song for the future. Some of us can relate to the kind of headspace that the people were in when they sang Psalm 96 as part of their liturgy, especially as we said a very emphatic goodbye to 2020. Somewhere around October or November, many of us had lost our happiness. We no longer had a song of joy. For most of us, if we had a song in our spirit at all, we were singing the blues. I could list all of the things that brought us down in 2020, but although most of our lists would include some common items, we each have our own troubles and challenges that we faced in 2020, all under our collective weighted blankets that we called COVID-19 and political pressures and nonsense. Gerard Way said, sometimes you have to kind of die inside in order to rise from your own ashes and believe in yourself and love yourself and become a new person. And Janet Fitch reminds us, the phoenix must burn to emerge. Some of us lost our song of joy in 2020, but the sad songs we took on into our minds and our spirits, those sad songs have gotten to be old and played out, and we're tired of singing them. Today is time for a remix. It's time for a new song. Just like Uda Undone Freud was mixed with Beethoven's symphony to become Ode to Joy in one of the best known pieces of classical music. And then Ode to Joy was mixed with new words to become one of the best known hymns, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, then remixed again for a contemporary expression as Joyful, Joyful. So too, the songs in our spirits can be remixed into something new and life enhancing for 2021 and beyond. Let's look at the making of a remix. First of all, it starts with something that already existed. Even in Psalm 96, we see that the people of Israel were invited to sing a new song that was built upon all of creation and historical memories. It did not ignore or erase the past. It built upon it. We've come through some things in 2020, but there were some things that we learned along the way and things that we might want to include and remember in our remix. Some of us learned how to save more money in 2020. Some of us started hobbies. Some of us spent more time with our family. And 2020 sure did build up our prayer life. Once again, we all have our own list of things that we gained in 2020, despite the frustrations and the losses. But we can take all those things that we've gained and put those into our new mix. Number two, with the remix, we identified the essence. Before we change or rework a song, we have to first understand what that song was all about. What was the essence of the original song? What was it intended to make us feel? Was it a sad song? Was it a love song? What was the genre? Was it R&B? Was it country? Was it gospel? Was it jazz? Of course, that's all metaphorical, but what was the emotion of the initial song that was in our spirit? What do you want to come through in your new song? Is it joy? Is it happiness? Is it determination? Is it hope? What is your theme for 2021? And third, when we're working on a remix, we need to make something new and life enhancing. The remix generally is better than or has a different feel than what was originally created. Think of the remixes you've listened to in the past. In many, if not most cases, something more upbeat came out of the remix. You started with something that existed, but it added a bit of the desired emotion and resulted in something new. Think of the song, I Don't Want to Lose Your Love by the Emotions. It was a great song, but Angie B was able to rock that song and make it something different, something more upbeat. Think about the Isley Brothers, I've Got Work to Do. Vanessa Williams came along and made that something you could dance to. Think about the song Oh Happy Day by Edwin Hawkins. Ramsey Lewis did a mix of that song that makes it so upbeat and so life enhancing that you just can't help but feel better after you hear it. And think about, I believe it was Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Think about that song, how Aretha Franklin took that song and took it to a whole different soulful depth that we can feel that song in a different way. In each case, someone took the existing song, which had its own value, but they added a little spice to it and came out with something that moves you in a different way. That's what the original reciters of Psalm 96 did. They used it as motivation to look at all that God had created and all that God had done, and it enabled them to throw the lessons of their difficulties in with the mix of the wondrous things God had done, along with all of the things that they were hoping for. And they used all that in the mix to create a new song for a new year. And that's how we're going to create the 2021 remix. Take the lessons of the past, including 2020, and create an enhanced new song for a new phase of life. God is the essence of what carried us through all of the years of our past. Like those who sang Psalm 96, we acknowledge God's presence in our past, and we also celebrate God's Spirit in a powerful and new way in our new year. I'm thankful today for the ability to have this remix. I don't want to erase or denigrate all that I've been through, but I'm ready for something better, something more loving, more bold, more patient, more involved in the community, more present. I'm ready to be a better friend. Life can be something new. We can be the catalyst that brings the melody of hope, joy, and peace to ourselves, to our family, and our community. I like what Howard Thurman reminds us of in his poem, I Will Sing a New Song. He says, the old song of my spirit has wearied itself out. It has long ago been learnt by my heart. It repeats itself over and over, bringing no added joy to my days or lift to my spirit. I will sing a new song. I must learn the new song for new needs. I must fashion new words born of all the new growth of my life, of my mind, of my spirit. I must prepare for new melodies that have never been mine before, that all that is within me may lift up my voice unto God. Therefore, I shall rejoice with each new day and delight my spirit in each fresh unfolding. I will sing this day a new song unto the Lord. Welcome to 2021. We made it through 2020, but now it's time for the remix, a remix full of love, of joy, and possibility. Thank you for listening.